Celebrity trainer Ngo Okafor inspired me to do 100 push-ups every day this month, and I am feeling it. Is fitness the key to a healthier, fuller life? Let's find out. Episode 201 features Ngo Okafor, two-time Golden Gloves champion, model, owner of Iconoclast Fitness.
At the time, I was like, I have a successful modeling career. I don't want to get my nose broken and not be able to work. But as I got better at boxing, the thought of the ability to play a sport at a very high level outweighed my desire to have a successful modeling career.
To simply call Ngo a fitness expert does him a disservice. He is quite extraordinary. This is an underdog story from bedridden kid in Nigeria to two-time Golden Gloves amateur boxing champion. It's about leaving a corporate IT job to always follow what his soul wants to do. This includes modeling alongside Gisele Bündchen, Mary J. Blige, and Lil' Kim, or appearing on Law & Order or the big screen. As an entrepreneur, Ngo trains clients in New York City that include fashion industry moguls and A-list celebrities. He has worked with Jennifer Lopez, Naomi Campbell, Chanel Iman, and fashion designer Marissa Webb, just to name a few. In this episode, you'll learn doing what makes your soul happy, how boxing elevated Ngo's life, how he strives to outwork everyone, even if that means getting less sleep so that he can do more. Now let's get inspired with Ngo Okafor. Ngo, welcome to Inspired Money. I'm so excited to have you on the show.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on your show. Thank you.
Well, let's jump right in. What's your earliest childhood memory of money?
My earliest childhood memory of money is my dad saying that if you want to double your money, fold the money you have in your pocket, fold it over and put it in your pocket. That's the best way to double your money. You know, a lot of people talk about like going and, winning the lottery or investing in this and investing in that, and you make a big return on your investment. And my dad was always about the money in your pocket, like a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. So he wasn't big on investing. He wasn't big on starting businesses. He was more about you go get a job and be safe, be protected that way. And he would always tell us, because we were, you would see businesses, and this was in Nigeria, you would see businesses and we would always say, hey, look at this business, look at that business. And he would always tell us, well, 80% of businesses fail. You only see the 20% that are succeeding. So these are all the messages that I received as a child when it came to money. It's about safe, no risks at all.
All right, so I look forward to digging a little bit more into that. But you also had a physical transformation. What was life like before you started working out at age 13 or 14?
Life before I started working out I started working out at 14 actually. Before I started working out at 14, I was the skinniest human being I knew. I used to joke about being 360 ribs, like you can see the ribs in the front and the back. And I just always felt that life was better for the bigger guys. Like they were stronger, girls liked them better. And I just felt that I was on the sidelines before I started working out. And that was my motivation to start working out, was to just get better, just get more size and have more access to things like, being stronger, having the girls, like, just girls looking at you as a man, as opposed to a boy. And that was that's how life was before I started lifting and before I started working out.
You had some physical issues too. I mean, were you bullied as a kid?
Yes, I was. I was always the youngest because my parents had me take all the entrance exams early. So I was always, I had an older brother, so I was always trying to keep up with him. So I was a grade younger. So I would always be a year younger than all the kids, and I looked younger, and I was skinnier than everyone. So for that reason, everybody was stronger, but I always wanted to be part of the conversation. I wanted to be in the mix. And they were always like, "Get out of here! You're not our age mate. You're not one of us." And when I tried to stand up for myself, I would get my ass kicked, and it happened over and over and over. And I just kept feeling, suppressed and just wasn't allowed to be like everyone else, like all the other kids. And growing up, I was also very sick, and I had all kinds of like respiratory issues. I had asthma. I was allergic to everything under the sun. I was allergic to dust. I was allergic to fresh cut grass, anything with a fragrance in it, uh, peanuts, grapes. So I was it just seemed this frail kid who just wasn't physically strong. And that really bothered me. I didn't play sports because I was in and out of the hospital. Like I would have times where I would be in the hospital for 2 weeks because I had asthma or I had pneumonia. And when I got out of the hospital, I would have to play catch up. Like my mom would photocopy notes from other students or get teaching notes from the teachers, and I would have to stay home and study. And I would hear all the kids outside playing while I was inside studying. And that got to me as well. And all of this sort of I started to outgrow it at the age of 13. And once I did, I was determined to turn all of this around, to get stronger, defend myself, and be a part of the conversation, be a part of life, so to speak.
So you saw the gym and working out as a ticket to a better life.
I did. I saw the gym, working out, learning fitness as my way to live, as my way to be a part of this world, a part of this life that I was being excluded from.
And I think you were born in Massachusetts, but then you moved back to Nigeria. Like, how old were you when you moved back to Nigeria?
I was a year and a half. My dad was getting his PhD from Harvard in English literature, and when he was done with his program, we all moved back. My older brother was born in Massachusetts as well at the Harvard Medical Center. So we were both born there. And then when my dad was done with his program, he wanted us to grow up in Nigeria. He wanted to practice in Nigeria. So we all moved back. The four of us moved to Nigeria.
So contrast for us a little bit, because it sounds like from age 13 and then I guess throughout school, you and your brother were willing to walk an hour every day to work out, and you were on this mission to create a better life for yourself. I think your dad, I'm assuming, had a different vision because his experience was that academics was that bridge to the better life.
That's correct. My dad came from extremely humble beginnings. He grew up in a tiny little house without a bathroom in it. They had a hole in the back of the house. That's where you would go to the bathroom. And no electricity, candles, lanterns for light. So he would study by candlelight. People, there's this, people make use sayings about candlelight doing work, burning midnight oil. He literally lived that life. And academics is what got him from that tiny little house in the village to a Harvard PhD. So for him, that was the only way out. And I felt differently. I felt that being well-rounded was the ticket out. And for me, I always knew that I would figure it out with regards to education. But with regards to living a full life, I felt that fitness was my ticket out. Fitness would allow me to live a full and complete life. So my older brother and I would walk because we grew up on a college campus. So we would walk an hour, jump over a wall that separated the campus from the rest of the town, jump over this wall to get to the gym. And we would do this every single day. So we would walk a little over an hour, scale this wall, get to the gym, work out. We would work out for an hour and a half, 2 hours, just watch these strong guys work out and learn, talk to them, ask thousands of questions. They would always be like, who are these kids, And we would ask a million questions, work out with them, try to absorb as much as we can. And then after working out, we would walk another. So we would scale the wall again, walk another hour and a half back home every single day.
How quickly did you and your brother start seeing results of your workouts?
Well, we started seeing results within a month because we literally lived there. And we would finish, we would do our workouts in the gym, and we would come home and we would watch movies like Sylvester Stallone movies or Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. We would watch Conan, we would watch Rambo, we would watch Rocky, and we would do push-ups all day long. We would do push-ups and sit-ups all day long, and we would be watching Rambo, for example, and there would be a shot where he's just shooting, and he's just jacked and muscles rippling. We're like, oh, we want to look like that. We would pause it, and we would do push-ups, and we would do 20, 30 push-ups, and we would both look at each other like, oh, do we look like, is this, does our chest look like his now? And we're like, not yet. And we do more push-ups. And it became a bonding thing for us, and we just would compete, and we would just try to be like the guy, like the Arnold or Sylvester Stallone, and they were basically our fitness and physical role models.
That is funny. So you, as a really, really skinny kid, you did start putting on muscle pretty quickly.
I did, and it actually has kept me going because I know that if you put in the work, you will get the results. Because muscle is adaptation. If you put pressure on the body will build muscle to protect itself. So the muscle you build muscle is designed to move your bones and to prevent your bones from breaking. So if you put pressure on the body, resistance on the body, it will build muscle. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you're 14 or 40. or 60 or 70, the body will adapt and will build muscle to protect itself. So when with designing programs, and my transformation program is basically built off of that, because I know for a fact that anyone, no matter what age they are, if they put in the work, they can get the results quickly.
So it sounds like a great metaphor for anything that you want to achieve in life.
Yes, yes, it is hard work, consistent hard work is the metaphor, is my metaphor. Like that's my key to success. And you can apply that to anything in life.
So your parents, who had you reading Dickens at age 9, what did they think about you and your brother taking an hour every day, going to the gym, an hour coming back, plus the time at the gym? Was there resistance to the time that you guys were spending working out?
Well, in the beginning there was, but we didn't have any school. So it was better that than getting in trouble. So for them, as long as we completed this insurmountable chore list that we always had, as long as we got that done, you can go and do whatever you want. And because they always knew where we were. We weren't hanging out, we weren't doing anything like that. We were just literally going to the gym and coming back home. So they felt that that was a positive thing. So they were fine with it because we didn't have any school at the time.
So you opened with this idea of like a safe, stable route and taking risk, because I want to get into that since your story is really amazing. I mean, from, I guess, your workouts, then you do eventually come back to the United States for college. You went to UConn, you got your degree in computer science. So it seems like kind of, if you draw that line and it's like the safe route, you got your degree, you got like a government job in IT. I'm assuming your parents were okay with that. Like that's all safe.
Well, yes, I did the make the parents happy thing at first. So went to college, got the job, got the benefits, which is all about which is what they're about. Have someone pay for your health insurance and your benefits, so you don't have to ever worry. And I did that for a few years, and at 24, I moved to New York, and I just knew that I wanted more out of life. Life kind of helped, push this forward because I got laid off from the job that brought me to New York, the IT job that brought me to New York. I got laid off from in about 6 months after I got there, and being in New York, I just said to myself, I don't want to live this corporate life. I wanted to live my dreams. I wanted to find my way. And I just chose not to go back to the corporate life. And that really upset my parents. And we had multiple conversations about that and multiple fights about that because they wanted me to go back to work for safety reasons. And I wanted to live my life. And happiness for me was more important than just being, just getting some job that paid you well, but you just were not happy. So I, from once I made that decision, I said to myself, okay, I'm in New York City, the biggest and the best and the most fun city in the world, the city of dreams. I felt, what do I want to do? And I always loved the arts, and I felt that a way in was through modeling, through acting. And I would always, coming up as a teenager, I would always look at these guys and girls in the magazines, and I would always think, I think I could do that. And I started looking into what it would take to do that. And I found a photographer in the gym. And once again, the gym got me everything. I found a photographer in the gym. He shot the new images that I took to modeling agencies, and then began my modeling and acting career that way. And did that. I had a successful career. Did that for several years, and boxing came, and it's just such for me, it's such a life of just exploring, and whatever it is you want to do, just don't be afraid, and just go right ahead and do it. And that is, I have found that is what has empowered me to really have a 360 view on the life that I have now. Like, I studied people because I worked a lot with people. I work with photographers, I work with directors, I work with other models, other actors, so many different personalities. You could be on a corporate shoot today. Like, for example, you could shoot something for HP today, and then tomorrow you're shooting something for Nike. And the personalities on the HP shoot would be different from the personalities on the Nike shoot. Or another day you'd be shooting a music video, so you'd be hanging out with celebrities, with an artist, and it was always different personalities, different mindsets, and you had to be this chameleon to adjust and manage being with all of these people. And now, when I got into the fitness business, I was already trained to handle all the different types of clientele that I would now work with, and segue into having my own gym. I know we're going to get to that, but having my own gym, I have been exposed to celebrities. I've been exposed to people with finance, people in technology, and understanding all of those worlds and what motivates them. And that is what I've applied to business. And that's what I feel makes me successful.
Yeah, it sounds like your cumulative experience has led you to where you are today. And it's like a hodgepodge of kind of like, I don't know if it's disconnected, but like some pretty crazy adventures along the way that make you uniquely you. when when you got laid off and you went down this path of like, I'm gonna do what I want to do now, and you had some arguments with your parents, did you have a vision of what you are today, or was some of it organic? You were just kind of following this path and saying, modeling sounds interesting, I'm going to try this. Boxing sounds interesting, I'm going to try this.
I didn't have a vision. It was just like, I felt that I'm here now. I'm just going to walk this tightrope, and I'm just going to have my arms out and just keep working on balancing and figuring it out. And that's basically what I did, because whatever I felt my soul wanted to do, whatever I felt was interesting, I did. I didn't have a vision of owning my own gym. I didn't have a vision of being the most, successful at modeling or the most successful at acting. I just wanted to do it and be good at it, and it just felt like these things made me happy, and that was what I was driven by. And as long as I was happy and as long as I had passion for it, that was more important than anything else. Like, I always knew the money would come, but I just wanted to live and enjoy and experience everything that I felt was interesting. So if it was boxing, I threw myself into it because I felt that, um, you know, with boxing, what that did for me was teach me that I can do anything, truly.
In- Ingo, I got to ask you, modeling and boxing are so different. I mean,
Yes.
modeling t- is modeling glamorous? I mean, you were working with Giselle Bundchen and Mary J. Blige. You were on the covers of Fortune, Vogue. Uh, I think that you worked on campaigns for Nike
Yeah.
and like cosmetic companies. Is it glamorous? Because boxing, I think, not glamorous. I mean, you're gonna take your punches, and it's very different from being on a magazine cover.
Well, it could be considered glamorous. I know a lot of the models I worked with saw it as glamorous. For me, it was a job and it was fun. I never cared about a glamorous lifestyle. It wasn't my focus. I wanted to work. I wanted to experience things. I wanted to experience people. I wanted to be around cool people. I wanted to learn from them. That was my motivation. I wasn't doing it because I wanted to be cool or I wanted to. It was always like I want to make money. I want to experience life in a different way. And when I say experience life, I love people and I learn from people. So to get paid and to be around people that I thought were really interesting, I felt helped elevate my life. And that was my focus, and that's what I wanted to do. And it was, like I said, it was just fun. Like you get to travel, you get to. It wasn't a hard life. You get to make money just hanging out on set, taking pictures, having. It's like you're playing. You're getting, you're playing. You get your pictures taken. You're getting videos shot of you, and you're making money. Like what could be better? And like I said, you're hanging out with such interesting, creative people. Boxing, on the other hand, was I always felt that I was athletic as a kid, but because I was always sick and always in and out of hospitals, I didn't get a chance to play sports at a consistently enough to become able to play a specific sport at a high level. Boxing gave me that opportunity. Boxing allowed me to start from zero, be consistent, and get to the highest level. I started boxing just as most people do, just extra cardio, something different, something interesting to do to keep you like, as a weight control thing to keep you lean, something different from running and biking all the time. And as I continued to do it, everybody that would hold pads for me or about hit the bag with would always tell, listen, you seem like you seem pretty good at this. Have you fought? Have you done this? I'm like, no. And at the time, I was like, I have a successful modeling career. I don't want to get my nose broken and not be able to work. But as I got better at boxing, the thought of the ability that to play a sport at a very high level outweighed my desire to have a successful modeling career because I've already done that. So for me, I have nothing else to prove, but boxing is something new and exciting and an opportunity to live a dream that I had as a kid of being an athlete at a high level. Like boxing didn't really start for me until I was at New York Health and Racket Club one day lifting weights, and I saw this guy hitting the bag, and he just looked so smooth and just sharp hitting the bag. So I went over and I asked him what he was doing, and he told me that he was training for the Golden Gloves. And I didn't know what the Golden Gloves were, but it sounded really, really cool. And I said to myself, hey, I can do that. So I said, hey, how did you get started? Like, how do you do that? How do you do the Golden Gloves? So he's like, listen, I can introduce you to my trainer. I'll take you to the boxing gym and introduce you, and you guys can figure it out and take it from there. So I waited for him. He came out, and I don't even know what he must have been thinking of me at the time, but because I never met him before. So he took me to the boxing gym, introduced me to his trainer, who then became my trainer. And I told him that I wanted to do the Golden Gloves, and he looked at me and he said, "Okay." And that was how it began, and I was there every single day. It was the most terrifying thing I had ever done, ever. Walking into a gym, looking at these guys just beat the crap out of each other and love it. But I felt that boxing was different from every other sport. I felt that boxing was one on one. I had more control because I don't have to learn anybody else's position. It was just me. It was my will against my opponent's will, my work ethic against my opponent's work ethic, my history. Like, so you bring all of that with you. When somebody hits you, all of that is what keeps you going. Because boxing is violent, it's rough, it hurts, it's painful, but your life story is in the ring with you. And that is what drives you forward, and that's what allows you to absorb this pain, but knowing that you can deliver pain back in order to win.
Talk about that will, that, you know, man to man, who has the strongest will? Because you're a bright guy, you're a thoughtful guy. But when you're in that ring, you are willing to, like, put it all out there.
Yes.
How do you do that? How are you willing to die in the ring? Because if it's that strong a will, right?
It is that strong because for me, I think being close to losing it all, like losing your life, being close to death as a child, I felt that I was living on borrowed time. I felt that, like everything, every day that I lived was a gift and a blessing. So if there's something that I want in my soul, I was willing to go to the death place. I was willing to die for it. And I felt that I had missed out on so much of being, like, just being a child, being a boy, running and playing, competing. I felt that I had missed out on so much of that in my life, that boxing was going to be that thing for me. And winning the Golden Gloves was going to be that stamp, that of approval. And I was willing to die for it. Everything that I've been through in my life, all of the bullying and the repression, suppression, not being a part of it, I had the power myself. I had the power to change that by winning the Golden Gloves. The Golden Gloves is the New York Golden Gloves is the biggest boxing, amateur boxing event outside of the Olympics. Like, the finals are at Madison Square Garden, and it's always sold out. It's televised. So a lot of guys come from all over the world to do the New York Golden Gloves, because if you win the New York Golden Gloves, you're on TV. A lot of the guys now take it and become professional fighters. So it's pro level. So I wanted to win. I needed to win. And it was, I just felt that that would be, it would help me exercise a lot of my demons and free me to get to another level in my life. And I just felt that if I didn't win the Golden Gloves, I wouldn't be able to break through to that next level by being able to shed that doubt and that fear of not experiencing and not living to my fullest potential. So when I was training and sparring and I was fighting these guys that were more experienced than me, beating the crap out of me every single day, I knew that it was for a better life, that it would make my life better.
That will is so strong. It's almost scary. Just talking to you, I don't want to face you in the ring because you wanted it so bad.
So badly. Like I could, it's like sparring is so scary, especially if you're sparring someone who's better than you and is preparing for a fight because they're trying to move up in their lives too. So they're not going to be in there trying to take it easy on you. They're going to, if they can knock you out in the ring, they will knock you out in the ring. So I would be, and I was a trainer at the time, I would be working with clients knowing that I was sparring at 2:00. So you would just be nervous, anxious. You would have diarrhea. Like you can't hold anything down because you're so scared, knowing that you're going to spar, knowing that you're going to get your ass kicked, but also knowing that you're not going to die from it. You're going to learn from it. So you lived in this dual place at the same time. But I wanted it so badly that I was willing to sacrifice everything for it. Even on days, on fight nights, I'd be walking to the ring. And I would just tell myself, if this were my last day, this is exactly where I want to be. I don't want to be anywhere else. I don't want to be doing anything else. This is the perfect day to die. So I am going to go out, like guns blazing. I'm just going to burn out. I'm not going to fade away. I'm going to give it my all. Just going to do everything. And I knew that a lot of the guys were not in it. That they were not that the will wasn't that strong. So when you hit someone with death intentions, a lot of people quit, or a lot of people rethink their choices in life. They rethink the reason why they got in that ring with you. And at the time when I threw punches, it's just all of the pain that I felt in my life, all of the disappointments and all of the things that I felt that I missed out on were behind every shot. And when they would hit me, it would hurt. But it didn't matter because, like you hit me, okay, cool. You didn't kill me, but now you wait for what I'm going to hit you with. And a lot of times they just didn't have the will to take it. A lot of times it was just so much pressure and so much pain that one of the guys that I fought, he just went like this. He just didn't want to continue because I was just coming and I just would not stop. And it just was what I felt that I had to do to win. And winning would get me that stamp of approval, which will help me exercise my demons and help me get to the next level of my life without that baggage.
Ngo, you came to boxing late at age 31.
Yes.
Tell us how you compressed that, the 10,000 hours that you needed to put in before competing at this high level, like the highest level of amateur boxing. How did you do that?
Well, I broke down boxing, right? And I found that the jab was the most important punch in boxing. the jab is basically a straight line. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So if I could perfect a jab, my jab, then it kind of made boxing easier to understand. Every other punch was either around, like a hook, which was a round punch, an uppercut, which is, they're all roundish punches. So if I could perfect the straight punches, I can get to my opponent before they could get to me. So I spent hours. So I would have my regular 2 hours of work training in the gym, but then I discovered through my years of working out that if I could do 10 to 15-minute blocks of practice throughout the day, my mind would see each 15-minute block of practice as a different day. So I broke down the jab. The jab is a straight long punch, right? So I would break down from my chin, about 6 inches away from my chin, 6 inches from that point to the next point, which is the midpoint, and then the full extension was another 6 inches. So I practiced these 3 6-inch pieces of the punch. So I would do 15 minutes of the short piece, 15 minutes of the middle, and then 15 minutes of the extension. And then I would put them all together. And then throughout the day, I would just practice. And then I would go to the gym, do my 2 hours of training with my trainer, and then go back to training clients. And I would just, if I had if my client was warming up, I would just stand in front of a mirror and just keep practicing just that 10 minutes. Someone's warming up for 10 minutes. That gives me 10 minutes of practice time. And I did this every single day. So I would think about boxing every single day, multiple times a day. And that was how I was able to compress to 10,000 hours into such a short time. At 31, most guys were already retiring from boxing, and I was getting started. But I just always had this intense belief that I could figure it out. No matter what it is in this life, I could figure it out. Everything in this life is like a math equation. Once you figure out and can solve for the equation, anything, doesn't matter what it is, can be figured out. And that is what I was able to do. And once I figured out the equation for boxing, then I just solved for it. And I just kept adding these pieces. And it didn't have to be like it wasn't what everybody else was doing. Just kind of be creative and, find these little chunks of 10 to 15 minutes throughout the day. And then you have the big chunk where you put it all together. I hope that makes sense.
And you did it not once, but twice. 2-time Golden Glove champion. Did that free you from the demons that you talked about?
It did. This proved to me that I truly could do anything. So I won the first my first Golden Gloves, which is considered a novice division. And I would tell people I won the Golden Gloves when I was in the boxing gym. I had my Golden Glove chain on, and people would say, "Did you win the novice or the open division?" And I would say, "I won the novice division." They're like, "Oh, that's cute." and in my mind, I'm like, "What do I have to do?" And the open division of the Golden Gloves is truly where the pros are. 99% of the guys that win their win open division turn pro, and that's why they do the open class is basically pro level. In my second Golden Gloves, I fought a guy who had been fighting professionally in France and came to New York and kind of snuck into the Golden Gloves because he wanted more publicity. He wanted to fight on TV so that he can now take this and get a promoter and get bigger fights. So it was a big deal. And I felt that if I could win the open division of the Golden Gloves, I had nothing left to prove. I would have now proven to myself that I can be an athlete. I can perform at the highest stage, like the Madison Square Garden, in front of thousands of people, and be able to see something from start to finish. Build something from the beginning to the end. Have a dream and a vision in my head and complete it and see it to fruition. So all of these things were unlocked, so to speak, after I won my second Golden Gloves. And I beat all these guys because I outworked every single one of them. I hit harder than every single one of them. I just had more desire than every single one of them. And with that, it almost like it's like playing a video game. It unlocked the next level. And once that level was unlocked, I just was unstoppable, be it in business, be it anything. My personal training business, grew because of that.
Yeah, tell us about how you're applying this confidence, this knowing that you can do anything that you put your mind to and you put your body to. Talk about your business, because you bought your business and you've been through a pretty crazy time.
Yes.
We all have been during this pandemic.
Well, everything for me in life is about leveling up, right? My wife got pregnant with our son, who is 6 years old now. When she got pregnant with him, I immediately started thinking, oh, wow, okay, I got to step everything up. I got to get my son to Harvard. He has to go to this school, that school. And I started doing all the life equations. And, okay, I have to hit this metric. I'm like, okay. Someone told me, wow, your wife is pregnant, Ngo. You better get all the sleep you can now, because once that baby comes, you're not going to be able to sleep. And I said to myself, that is the worst advice anyone can give me. Like, if I'm not going to sleep, I need to practice not sleeping. So I started sleep deprivation training. And now to do that, I said to myself, to be able to practice sleep deprivation training and build my business, I created this alter ego that I call the machine. So the machine could sleep 3 to 4 hours a night, work out multiple times, because I believe that you have to walk the walk. You got to look the part. Nobody wants to work with a trainer who's out of shape. It's like, I wouldn't want to invest with a broke money manager, So it's the same thing applies. So I needed to make more money. I needed to get comfortable not sleeping. So in order to make these things happen, I asked one of my clients, who is at top of his game, if he would be willing and open to train at 5 a.m. because I needed to start do my first session at 5 a.m. and then literally go all day till about 8 or 9 p.m. So he agreed. So now I could add a client I can have a client at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 4 sessions before a lot of guys even start their days. So I've already done 4 hours. And then I would also do sessions after 5 o'clock. So there were days that I would do 12 sessions a day, 13 sessions a day, back to back to back to back to back, all off of 3 or 4 hours sleep. So I created this alter ego that I called the machine, and I would sleep 3 to 4 hours a day, go in, train this guy at 5, and then just go back to back to back. And then I would have 30 minutes or 45-minute break. I would work. I created like these short workouts, get an intense workout, eat something quickly, right back on the floor, going back to back to back to back again. And I did that. Everyone would always tell me, Ngo, you need 8 hours of sleep. I'm like, you need 8 hours of sleep. I don't. I have goals that I need to meet. I have ideas, and I have a child coming, and I have to be prepared. So I just kept driving this, and at first it was miserable. It was absolutely painful to just sleep 4 hours, get up like a zombie, and then just keep going throughout the day. But I knew that with practice, I would get better at it. So for the first, I would say, month, it was absolutely unbearable. But I just kept fighting through it and working through it, and just kept doing it every day, every day, every day, every day. And it just became a part of my life. And being able to do all of these sessions, I was able to save up my own money. Even after my son was born, I just continued working this way. So I was able to save up my own money and buy this gym from another trainer who was having financial difficulty. And then I leveled up again, because I would start training clients at 5 a.m. And after I bought the gym, I would come here to the gym. I taught myself how to use a table saw, which is the most dangerous tool I've ever seen in my life. The first time I turned on a table saw, I thought I was going to cut off all of my fingers, my arms. But all of the contractors I spoke to were charging me like they would, because they came. My gym is on Fifth Avenue, overlooking Madison Square Park. So once contractors would come into the gym, immediately they just saw dollar signs. So they quoted me, it would be $80,000 or $100,000 to do the renovation that I wanted to do in the gym. So I was just like, screw that. I'll figure this out. Just like everything else in my life, I'll figure it out. So I spoke to a maintenance worker at a gym that I was in, and he's like, the first thing you need to do is to buy a table saw. So I went to Home Depot, bought the table saw, he helped me put it together. And he's like, all right, so you're going to use it. And I'm like, you're the maintenance guy. And he's like, I'm not using that. I'm not using that thing. So I turned it on, and it was so loud. And the blade was just moving so fast, and I could just see myself just chopping off every my arms, my face, everything. So I just turned it back off, and I just stood there for a second, and my life flashed in front of my eyes. It's either you conquer this table saw, or you have no gym. So I took a deep breath, and I picked up a rubber tile, and I fed my first rubber tile through the table saw. And I was so scared, but I just fed it through, and that's how it began. So I would train clients at a gym that was about 8 blocks from the gym that I bought. I would train clients from like 5 a.m. to probably whenever. I could do like maybe like 4 clients, and I would have like an hour and a half or 2 hour break. I would literally run the 8 blocks over to the gym, to my gym, do like construction work, cutting tiles, putting glue down, sticking them down. I had a couple of friends helping me, I would go hard at the gym doing the construction work here, and then I would run back to the other gym, train clients, run every break I had. I would run over to my new gym, and I would do basically construction work. And I would have like dust sometimes in like my, like crevices, and I would try to dust myself off as I was running back to the gym. And we literally got this, my new gym, we got it renovated within 3.5 weeks. And so I would finish work at that gym at 8 o'clock, run over here and do construction work till about midnight, run home, sleep for 3 hours, start it over again for 3.5 weeks, nonstop, every single day. But we were able to get it done with very little, for very little money. Like probably the entire renovation costs under $10,000, and the contractors were quoting me $80,000, $100,000. And for me, that's always been the key to my success: just hard work, hard, consistent work. Just don't be afraid to work hard, and that's what has always been the difference maker for me.
So today you're training celebrities and executives. Have you found your happiness and your purpose in running your business?
I have found yes. The answer is yes. I have found it's always difficult for me to say I have found it, but I have found it. And I say it's difficult to say yes because there's always a level up. What can I do next? But I have found happiness in marrying fitness and teaching, and in a space that I've built and created, which is freedom for me. Freedom to think, freedom to work as hard as I want, freedom to just do whatever I want and be whatever I want without fear of repercussions, without an owner of a gym feeling threatened by my success. I felt like I've now built a place where I can nurture other trainers. I can teach clients. And a lot of my executives are still human beings, and they get inspired by my story. And my celebrity clients are human beings too, and they get inspired by my story. So in that sense, yes, I make more money than I ever thought that I could make, more money than I would have made if I stayed working in IT and doing the jobs that my parents wanted me to do. And I'm free. And that for me is the ultimate happiness. But at the same time, I know that there's more. I know that I can do more. I know that I can achieve more. So I don't let myself relax. I don't allow myself to just lay down and say, I've done it, I've won, because there's so much more to do in this life, so much more to achieve in this life. So I keep going.
With that benchmark of the money compared to what you're making today and the IT job, have your parents come around? Are your parents happy? Or is there still pressure there?
Well, they actually, when they came to the gym, was the first time my dad and my mom have ever said that they were proud of me. That was the first time in my life that they've ever said it, and I've seen the look in their eyes, like they were truly proud. And so I've won, and I've conquered that.
How did that feel when they said that to you?
it was a dual feeling because I was happy that they said it, but then I was resentful that they said it because I felt that I've been working hard my whole life and I've succeeded my whole life, but this is what it took. Like after at the age of 44 years, it took for you to say that, and that was I resented that, but I was happy that they did say it.
Clearly, there was a point in your life where you decided you're going on your own path. It's almost like, I don't care what my parents think. I'm doing what I want to do.
Yes.
Because they must have thought that you were insane when you were boxing.
Oh my
Like
God!
your
Like
dad, given
they, my dad. Like I didn't even tell him because because I knew what they were going to say. I didn't tell him I was boxing because I knew that my dad would say, your brain cells, and you're going to lose your faculties, blah blah blah. So I just didn't even bother because I knew what they were going to say. So for me, this wasn't about them. So I decided to do this, but they found out at the end that I was doing the Golden Gloves because my brother came to visit from London.
well, and it's a huge
So
thing.
he was coming to watch the final.
They should know.
But I just didn't want to hear their voices. I didn't want to hear what they had to say because it wasn't going to be supportive. So for me, like, there's no point. Like, I didn't need their approval. I needed to win, and I felt that any like negativity just deters your progress, just gives you something extra to
Yeah.
worry about. So I was going to tell them at the end because I knew I was going to win, you know. So I just didn't need any
It's nice that it
problems
came full
from that.
circle and you did win there, that they were proud of you and they told you so, which is nice. A two-time Golden Glove champion, business owner. How do you define success?
I define success by following through, having a desire, having a need having a goal. You have a goal, you set the goal, you verbalize the goal, and you follow through, you put in the work, and you get to the goal. That is how I define success. It's not about making millions of dollars or comparing yourself to anybody else, but it's about following through with what you said you were going to do. You set a goal, you said you want to achieve this goal, and you put in the work and you got there. There's so many levels of achieving the goal, but you got there. That to me is success.
Ngo, thank you for sharing with us your extraordinary story, your extraordinary life. Can you tell the Inspired Money listener and viewers where they can follow you, where they can find you, and if they want to work out at your gym, where to come?
Oh, I would love everyone to come and check out my gym. I said everyone because the energy at my gym is different from every other gym. It's like a family. We all support each other, and that's what I feel fitness and wellness is about. My gym, Iconoclast Fitness, is at 210 Fifth Avenue. It's on Fifth Avenue between 25th and 26th Street in Manhattan. It overlooks Madison Square Park. Beautiful view. Just like people that come here, when they're here in the gym, it's not just about working out. Like you want to be better, and that is what I feel that is what fitness gave me. It made my life better. And I want people to come here and want to make their lives better. So it's not about dumbbells or lifting weights that is just a path in. Fitness is just, and lifting, working out is just a path to becoming a better person, to living the life that you want. And that's what I've instilled in this space. And that is what I would love for people to come and experience at my gym, Iconoclast Fitness. They can follow me all on Instagram at CatchNgo, CatchNGO, or my website, NgoOkafor.com.
Thank you, Ngo.
Thank you so much, Andy.
So what was your favorite Inspired Money moment? I love the idea that fitness can be a bridge to a successful life, just as studying hard and doing well in school can be too. Both require consistent hard work. What I liked most about Ngo's story is how he found happiness by marrying fitness and teaching. The gym that he created is freedom for him. I'll leave you with this thought. Ngo said that boxing proved to him that he can do anything. What is your boxing? Something that can help you conquer your demons and elevate you to a new level. Go find that thing. If you had a different favorite Inspired Money moment, let me know by posting a comment below. And for listening to the end, I want to send you this Inspired Money sticker. Go to inspiredmoney.fm/Andy, send me your name and address, and I will put this in the mail for you. Thank you so much for joining me on this mission. Have an inspired week and do something that scares you, because that's where the magic happens.